Hey everyone, Scott Norris here. So this is the second part of Blueprinting 101 for vRealize Automation. Cloud or 8, both the same, interchangeable. One's on-prem, one's SaaS obviously. Now this is the blueprint we left off from the last video. In this video I'm just going to look at the inputs and how to use them and just give a basic idea of the type of inputs that are available, right? And then how to use them. So we've got our machine on a network with a disk attached to it. Awesome. So what I want to do now is actually make it a bit more dynamic, right? We've hard coded the platforms here. We've hard coded the network where it's going. So we want to make that as simple to use as possible. Plus the inputs basically are creating your form in code as well. So the more you do in your inputs, the less there is to do if you're offering this up as a catalog. But these are all inputs, even if you're doing it via the API, they're the inputs that are required. So let's have a look. Let's do the first input here. So what I want to do is choose the platform. So is it going to AWS, is it going to Azure, or is it going to vSphere? Now this is the really cool thing about vRealize, is that the code in it and the resource types can be agnostic, meaning this one that I've got here, I can deploy that to any cloud endpoint and it's going to assume their native objects. If I go to Amazon, it's going to be an EC2 instance on a network with an EBS storage. If I go to vSphere, it's going to be a virtual machine on a NSX or a vSphere network with a VMDK attached. If it goes to Azure, it's going to be an Azure VM on Azure VNet with their VDH disk attached. So it's obviously works with any of these agnostic here: volume, security group, network, load balancer, and virtual machine. Can go to any cloud without changing it, and it's the only platform that allows you to do that as of today. So inputs. Let's have a little bit of a look. So we want to choose the platform. So what I'm going to do is go, let's actually call it cloud, which is the name. Then we want type. So type is mandatory, and this type I just want it to be a string. So obviously this takes the basic primitives, string, integer, and obviously does properties away, and obviously boolean as well. So we'll try and cover all of them. So we've got string, then we want to give it, I might do a one of. So what one of is it allows you to have human readable title, but with a actual whatever the backing property for that is. So in this instance we go property one of, so this particular one we'll do one of title, and this title will be AWS, and then we want const, and this will be the actual tag that I want, so the real tag. So we'll do platform and then we do another one. We go title Azure const Azure, and then we do title. Oh. And this is YAML, so it is indent sensitive. It is vSphere, and const to be form vSphere. Alright, so that's going to allow us, if we go test, we'll see a drop down, and it's going to give us the the human readable friendly ones here, but on the back end that's actually going to stand for platform : AWS. So in this, how do we use it? Cool, we've got a drop down. So on our tag we use the $, curly braces, and then we have input. And if we hit dot, it will give us what our inputs are available. So I've only got one there, that's cloud. So that will go to that particular cloud. So if I go to test here, I want to actually deploy, I'll pick Azure, I'll test that, and we'll see if it works. It doesn't, because there's no placement zones for Azure. Now that's fine. If we go test and go AWS, unable to find networking because I don't have a tag web there, which is fine, and I'll show you how and why. And then we go okay. Let's test that again. So it should work on vSphere. Yep, great. So now to fix up the AWS thing, because I don't have a network that's called Network Zone Web in AWS, I need to be able to have that dynamic for me. So again, I could just do another one like this, but I'll just show you another way that we can do it, just so I'm covering a bit of all bases. So I'll go network, let's call it zone, and we'll do type is string, and what I'll do is I'll do an enum, and this is essentially just an array. So enum, I'll have platform, not platform, network zone, private, network zone public. Alright, so they can be my two. Now what we can also do, and I didn't do all these on the other, is give it a name. Not a name, a title, sorry. And this particular title, we're going to say network zone. And we'll also give it a description. So description, and we'll do network zone. Alright, so if we go test this now, I've got, that's my cloud, there's my network zone, the two that I can choose from. And I've also got the title there instead of the standard, and I've got a little description there, choose placement network zone. So up here, let's make this a bit better, and we'll say title, cloud endpoint. Ooh. Okay, so if we do test there now, we'll see that that now says cloud endpoint, but I don't have a description. That's all right. So for this, I can actually also put a default, and we'll just do private can be the default here. There we go. Now if I go test, that should be already pre-populated. Endpoint, if I choose AWS now, we'll test that. It still won't work because I haven't actually used it anywhere. So where do we got to use this? We got to use this under the network. So here, network zone web there. So what I want to do is, again, use the $, curly braces, input, and there should be network zone, and close that off. Alright, so if I go test now, AWS, let's do it. Awesome, works fine. So now, what else can we use? So we've got capacity here for disk, right? So let's use an integer. So we could actually have disk, disk capacity. I want to have this as type integer. I also want to do a minimum of 1, maximum of 100, default as 10, and give it a title, which can be disk capacity. Make it nice and friendly. We'll test that. And there we go, disk capacity, default's 10. Awesome. Now, how do we use this? again, we use the inputs, the dollar, curly braces, input, dot, disk capacity, done. Alright, so now that's going to work there. Now what else can we actually do? So we've got image and flavor, for instance. So we could have image, type, string. We could have title, OS image. We can then have enum, and in here we have CentOS, and we have Windows 2019. Alright, and again we use that here, so we have image, $, input, dot, image, braces. Awesome. Same thing we could have for flavor as well, but one thing I would like to do is have a look at something else. So what about if you want to tag these machines, right? So we can actually tag these machines by having tags there, and now they're a value key, right? So what I want to do, instead of actually putting that there, is let's actually create input here, and we'll have tags, and we'll have type, array, I think, array, sorry, not array, what am I doing, object, we'll have a title, machine tags, and we'll have properties, we'll have key, and we'll have the type, so what sort of type is it? This particular one will be a string, and then we have title, which is key, and then I want to have a value column, so these are columns of type, string, and title, value. Alright, so that should be that. We'll give it a description so it makes more sense. Description, and go let's go tags that will be added to the machines. Alright, and then we'll go down to here, we'll go to tags, and then we'll just do $ input dot tags. Alright, so that should be sweet. So if we go, we can actually do more. So if I just do just purely for, I'm not going to use these, but you can use these if you're using Cloud Init and other things, but we can go for instance username, and then we'll go type is string, we'll have encrypted equals true, then we'll do a pattern, and then the pattern will be A, Z plus, so it's just any standard regex pattern, and then we'll give it a title, user name, and then yeah, you can do whatever else you want. But now let's also have a look at password. So maybe we've got a cloud init script that's taking in username and password. So we'll have, oh, we don't want that there. Oh, no. we'll have that here, encrypted and true. Password, let's go title, and we go username, password, and then we'll have a pattern as well. Well, actually, no pattern there, but you could put a pattern there to make sure they use special characters and all the rest of it. And let's also do one, maybe we want backups because we're triggering an event. To add this to a backup policy at provisioning time, we would want type boolean, then we'll have title, backup, yep. So that'll do. We'll just put a description there too. Where's the description? We'll go select just an example. Alright, cool. Now if we go test this, we've got all these cool things. So cloud endpoint. We'll go vSphere, disk capacity 10, OS image, CentOS, machine tags. I made a mistake. So I was right the first time. That is array. Then we want items. Type object. Object, and then alright, now that should be better. Hey, that's better. Alright, so we've got CentOS, vSphere, machine tags, so I want to add a machine tag to it, so I want blueprint 101, and we go tab value equals 102. Alright, and then we have username. So I don't want to use my username, so we'll go Bob, and password can be password, and do I want this backed up or not? So yes, let's do backup. Test that. Alright, everything looks good. So let's do a deploy to that. We'll choose deployment name. 101 E current draft. We got to select all these again, so let's go vSphere. Let's go CentOS. Let's add a key. So key value is blueprinting 101. Testing. Oh, testing. Testing. Apply. And then we can keep adding them to it if we want. Username, I'll just put that in there. Bob, password, and backup. Deploy. Done. Now, just to show you why Azure wouldn't work on this particular project right this very moment, if I go to project, Z, provisioning, I've got no Azure in here. So I can actually add my cloud zone, Azure, provisioning pro, that's alright, we'll just leave it at that. Save. That means that if I go back to Blueprint here and actually did a test, and I chose Azure, go test. That now works. So this is how you can give government projects based on any cloud endpoint that you want. Alright, so if we just have a quick look. Okay, it's all creating progress. Is it 195? Methodology. Let's have a look. Yep, 1795. If I have a look at that machine, should be able to see it's got the second hard disk of 10 gig, which I told it to. It will also have our blueprint tag testing on it. Boom. Works like a charm. So it's on cloud deployment, all good. So that is blueprinting, working with inputs, this one. So next time we'll focus on another area, adding cloud in it and other more advanced things into a blueprint. Anyway, until next time, see you later. Bye now.